In this tutorial, we're going to use Glide apps to create a mobile application using Google Sheets. To begin, you're going to want to create an account and log in to Glide. From there, you're going to click on your apps page and select New App. From there, you're going to give the app a name and select the device that the app will be primarily used on, but don't worry, it's going to work on all devices. Then click Continue. From there, you can select a source of data that will go into populating the application. We can either use Google Sheets if you have an existing set of information, or you can use Glide Tables, which is essentially the same thing and allows you to edit the data built into Glide directly. So really, they're both spreadsheets, it's just a matter of where your data is stored. From there, we're going to click Continue. Now you can see that we are in the app editor, and let's go ahead and cover the different areas of the editor itself from the user interface view. So you're going to notice there are 3 tabs here on the upper toolbar. The first tab being this one here, which allows us to view our app from either Android or Apple in either portrait or landscape mode. The first tab on the left side is the Spreadsheet tab. So this is going to allow us to start editing our data either in Glide directly, or we can link out to the Google Sheet that we're accessing. But ultimately, we can edit and add data from here by using these different tools. We can add columns and rows and things like that, have multiple tables that references multiple data sets and so forth. The third tab here is going to allow us to edit the overall appearance of our app, such as the accent color found throughout our app in different call to actions and buttons and things like that. We can select a theme from those selected, from those available. We can choose the typography or ultimately the types of fonts that are being used on our app. These are all really user-friendly and display well on any device. And there's some other settings here as well, such as accessibility and tabs. Under this other settings here, we can edit the app info, such as the icon, the app name, the author of the app, and a brief description. There are some pro features, as you can see. There's also privacy options, so you can allow others to view the app either with an email, or you can make it a private app where they have to sign in and so forth. There's some options there. In terms of sharing, there are some paywall tools that are blocked with Pro, but ultimately you can share your app with anyone once it's published, and we'll cover how to do that. For the sign-in screen, if you choose to have your app be login only, you can edit that. You can edit the user terms and agreements, some different data settings, and there's some other integrations you can look at, but primarily you'll be working with appearance and app info as it relates to most projects that you would be working on with this tool. So going back to our view here, primary view, we can take a look at the different, essentially think of it almost like a website, like the different pages of our app. So we have an about page, we have a sign out page, and we have, let's take a look here, a things page, shopping cart. You can see them here on the left-hand side under tabs. So ultimately, depending on if you start with a template or not, there will be different options for you to customize, or you can start from scratch just like we did here. But let's go ahead and add. Let's go to tabs and click that plus button to add a new tab. You can rename the tab here by double clicking on it and clicking enter, and that will update the name of that page or that tab in your app. And then from there, with that tab selected, we have some options. So here is the general options here, the label for the given tab or page in our app, the source that we're accessing data from. So for example, if you are going to have a list of products within this page of the app, let's call it a store. This is our store page. What we would ultimately do is we would have a table here. I'm going to add a new Glide table. I'm going to call it products. And so what I can do now is I'm going to change these fields here so that they are appropriate with the given table. So for products, we would need the name of the product, a photo, probably a price. Price. You can see there's a lot of different options here. Price, and then, whatever else we want. So I'm going to add product number 1. Get rid of this one. You can search here or upload directly. Let's just say we're adding a pair of boots. The picture's there, and the price we can add as well. There we go, we have 2 products in our table. So now we're going to go back to our view here, and we're going to select our store tab. As you can see, we are referencing the source. The source is our products spreadsheet, and that's what's populating this view here. Now, depending on, again, the purpose of a given tab, whether it's a store product page, a directory of people, maybe different videos or images of whatever we want to be putting in our app, we can choose how we want it to be displayed through styles. So this is an example of a list. Here's what tiles look like. If it's a date, you can have a calendar, or if it's a location, it could be a map. For checklists, that's pretty self-explanatory. For a card view, that's what that looks like. For swipe, ultimately it'd be a single card view that users could swipe through, and details allow users to view the product, in this case the image, the name, the link, the price. So depending on whatever style you're choosing, there's some edit options. You can click the edit, choose the order in which you want things to display and so forth. So if you wanted the title above your image, you could choose to do that via the styles option page. Things like what you want the images to look like. Do you want them to be straight edges or rounded edges? What kind of padding do you want around those images within there? So there's a lot of options, so go ahead and explore those. So now that we have added some content to our tab, we've customized the look of how that content's being displayed, let's click on the Options tab. So for this given tab in our app, we can choose to either have a search bar or not have a search bar. That's largely going to depend, again, on the type of content being displayed on that tab. So now that we have taken a basic look at how to create a tab, add content, change how it's viewed, let's take a look at our menu. So the menu here is going to be, like any app, how do you access the different tabs or pages within your app? Here we have 2 currently. We have Things and Store. Those are going to depend largely on what is made visible. In this starter version, we have things toggled off. You can hide them by clicking that eyeball, and as you can see, that disappears and appears. So it just kind of depends what you're wanting to do there. But ultimately, if we want something in our menu, we can click and drag it there. So if you don't want it down here to make it too cluttered, you can just throw it into this menu for additional links or pages or tabs in the app. So if I don't want my store page here, or I don't want my chat down here, I can just click, drag it into the menu, and you can see it now when I open, and you won't see it when I collapse the menu. Pretty simple. So now that we have taken a look at how to edit our navigation, create tabs, add content to tabs, edit spreadsheets and data directly in Glide, let's take a look at how we can go ahead and publish and share our apps. So if you want to preview your app and see what it looks like, you would go ahead and click this play mode button. And that's going to allow you to click here as if you were using this phone. So instead of having to pull out a phone and play with that, around with that, you can simply, when this is toggled, essentially your mouse is acting like your finger would on a touch screen. So the other option here is the select mode, which allows you to select something and edit it from there. So it's essentially previewing it versus editing it is kind of how you can see these two toggles. Once you're happy with your app and you're ready to publish it, you're going to go ahead and click Publish and click that again. And now you can update this app link and copy it and share it with people, or including your classmates, teacher, and so forth. If you want to send it to a phone for somebody to be able to add as an app on their device, you can type in their phone number, or you can simply open your camera app on your mobile device and scan this QR code, which is going to bring you to the page where that you can then download that app to be added to your device. So as you can see, building an app is a lot easier than you might have thought, using simple spreadsheet data and some options and customizations within Glide. So have fun exploring this tool, and be sure to watch the other videos in our digital tool series to learn how to use different digital tools in education.